Yo, we're back again. Let's solve these very interesting problems. Remember, when we solve the problems, I would say post the video, do the problems, and then watch the video. So we're just gonna go through them one by one. Right? Cool. So the first one, we just know it by heart. I mean, we've been doing it for quite some time. The answer is 7, but let me just show you how the answer is 7 if you happen to be curious. Remember, the number that we have here, if there's no number, is 2, right? So I'm just gonna put it there. And then remember, 49 is a squared number. So if you square 7, like 7 times 7, you get what? You get 49. So we can just write 7 squared, which of course we know this is the same as 7 to the power of 2 over 2. So I'm gonna do this. The 2 of the denominator is this 2 right here, and the one of the numerator is the 2 right here, right? So yeah, and then these 2, they're gonna cancel out each other, and the answer there is gonna be 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, which makes the answer to be just 7. Just yeah. The second one is very interesting. We have a negative sign there, and with that negative sign, I can just advise you and say it's your choice, right? Since we have it's your choice whether you put the negative as your numerator or your denominator. It doesn't really make a difference. The answer is going to be the same, right? So let me make it to be a numerator for my case. So I'll just put it right here, and yeah, since I have the same degree, the same radical sign for the whole thing, I can just say my answer. I have this guy over here, right? We just did that law right now. Yeah, of which the answer here, maybe just to make the steps much longer than necessary, here it's this, and here I think it's 3 to the power of 3, right? So of which, just like what happened in number 1, the 3 are gonna divide each other. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so your answer eventually is gonna be negative 4 over 3. Alright, so you at the end you must have this answer. And then this one is actually quite interesting. I will say it doesn't really matter where you start solving your problem. I will show you just for this case. For example, we can have like 2 different people. The first person, the first person can already remove the surds and say I have 4 squared, or maybe I can say 2 to the power of 4, right? X to the power of 4. Since I have x to the power of 4, right, I can just have something like that. And then what do we have? 3 divided by 4. And this 4 is from your degree right here, right? That's the 4. Someone can just go with this like this, and now when we raise power to power, we multiply the exponents. Multiplying everything all out, the 4 are gonna cancel each other, so you're gonna end up having 2 to the power of 3 x to the power of 3, because the 4s are gonna cancel out each other, right? Then the second person, let me use this maybe green pen. The second person could actually start by first, I mean, it's a long step. It's really a long step, okay, cool. So say of course, inside your radical sign you have, oh my god, this right here is 4. It's 2 to the power of 4 x to the power of 4. You have this, right? To the power of 3, right? So what you can do now is just swap the 4 and the 3. I mean, since just exactly the same. So 4, and then you have 2 to the power of 3 x to the power of 3, and then you have 4. This two things are exactly the same thing. You can multiply the first one or multiply the second one, you'll see the answer is just gonna be the same. So now it's just easy, like that this 4, that this 4 over here and this one, they're gonna divide each other, because you're gonna have 2 to the power of 3 x to the power of 3, right? The whole thing 4 over 4, which divides each other into 1, and then your answer is this one inside, just like this one. So it doesn't really matter where you start, so long as you follow the rules and you don't make any mistake, you're gonna get the correct answer, right? So cool. I have a very interesting problem. It's this one, number 4, right? So pause the video, look at number 4, think about it. Maybe if I just give you a hint, remember there's a law we dealt with. It said M, and then I think you have N right here, then A. What was the answer to this? The answer is the product of your what? Of your degrees, and then you have your A. These two are just the same thing, and this rule can actually help you. So how we're going to solve the problem, we're going to use the rule, and we're going to use a different rule just to show you guys, so long as you use these rules, it doesn't matter which one you use. Others are just straightforward. I mean, if you happen to forget any rule, but remember another rule, they are all like one thing. They can all help you out get to the right answer, right? So in that case, I'll just straight lines. So here we are using the rule, and then not using the rule. Cool. Yeah, cool. Let's start right here, right? Let's start with that one. So I'll just write x here. So let's see how many radical sign do we have there. It's 4 of them inside this x that I highlighted with green, that I underlined with green. There are 4 radical signs in there, all with what? They all have a degree of 2, right? So what I can just say is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. There are 4 of them, and the answer is gonna be what? The answer is gonna be 16, right? So what does that mean? That means that here I'm gonna have 1 over 16, right? So cool, I'm done. Let me go to this red one. So there's gonna be a multiplication sign, of course, and then I'll go back to the green. So here I have 3 radical signs. So it's 2 times 2 times 2, just using the rule, and the answer is 8. So I have 1 over cool, 1 over 8. Nice one. Then if I go to this guy over here, that guy we have 2, so just gonna be 2 times 2, which is 4. So we have our multiplication sign and x to the power of 4. Everything is so fine. And the last one, this one, I'll use a black pen. This one is just there's just 1 radical sign, so it's just gonna be x 1 over 2. I forgot 1 here, 1 over 2, right? And then multiply this last one, which is just x to the power of 1, right? From here we have the same base and we are multiplying. What do? We add the exponent, so you're gonna have x to the power of what? 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 16, right? You just put this in a calculator and then you get your answer. That's done. Or maybe let's just do it. Of course, the highest base here is the highest denominator is 16, so you can see you have 16 over 16. You have 8 over 16. You have 4 over 16. You have 2 over 16, and you have 1 over 16. You add everything here. I mean, you know, this is 10, that's 20, so that's 30, and that's 31, so 31 over what? Over 16. That's your answer. Cool. Then you're done, right? So say for some particular reason you forgot the rule, or maybe you forgot these rules of multiplying your degrees, right? And you're in an exam room, you're writing, it's a final one. How are you gonna solve this? Cool. This is where I would start, right? This is where I would start. I'm still gonna, maybe let me do this. Say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I can do that and say, if I take 1 and 2, 1 and 2 says it's x multiplied by square root of x, right? Which is what? Which is x to the 1 multiplied by x to the power of 1 over 2, which is just x to the power of what? X to the power of 3 over 2. Right, this is what I get from 1 and 3. No, 2 and 1, 2 and 1. And then now I go to 3. Remember that I have x. Now it's gonna be x to the power of 3 over 2, right? Because remember that this whole thing, I just worked it out and it gave me this. So don't forget your radical sign. Right there, I'm gonna have x1 multiplied by x to the power of 3 over what? Over 4. So I'm adding that. The answer is x to the power of 7 over 4, right? And then I go again. Where was I? So I just dealt with 3 now, and so I'm gonna have x multiplied by now x to the power of 7 over 4. Yeah, you just basically gonna keep on doing this until the last one, and if you continue, we'll see that the answer is x to the power of 31 over 16. Here it's gonna be 8, right? So now what is my answer? If I add the 2, the answer I believe is gonna be 15 all over 8, right? So now I go to 4. If I go to 4, let me actually use a different pen. X 15 over 8, it's x to the power of 1 multiplied by x to the power of 15. This is now gonna be what? This is now gonna be 16, right? Yeah, so the answer then is gonna be what? I have, what do I have? I have, okay, 16 plus 15, that's gonna be 31 over, I forgot my x, over 16. Exactly the answer we had. Right here. So you see that your answer is x to the power of 31 over 16. Basically the same thing. So yeah. In the next section, we're gonna simplify more sets, and we're gonna also do this thing called rationalizing. We basically rationalize the denominators. You know, you have your fraction or whatever, and they say simplify, and we're gonna use this rule of rationalizing things to see how it works. Good luck. See you in the next video.